Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about keeping the house cool. So we're going to be talking about windows, tinting, sun energy, heat transfer, and things like that. So let's get to it. All right, you guys. So here we live in the south of the United States. And most of you guys, people who live in the south of the United States knows in the summer or even late spring or even early fall, it gets really, really hot. All right. There's even like nicknames for cities and things about how hot it gets. I think people in Atlanta call it like hot Atlanta and things like that. But anyways, the point is that it gets really hot. And we live in a house that was built in about 1999, 2000. So it's about 20, 21 years old. And the windows that we got with the house, these windows are original to the house, were not necessarily the best. They're not necessarily all that great. Obviously, building science has progressed a lot since then, and they've made better materials and things like that. But the windows that were installed in this house were not the best, and they're pretty old, and they didn't necessarily I'm not sure if they had the low E glass and all that fun stuff since then. But the point is that one day I was just sitting here and my back was just getting beaten down by the sun. Like it was just getting burned, I felt like. So immediately I just closed the blind, right? And I was just kind of still sitting there because my son likes to play in this area. And I'm just feeling this blast of heat energy just coming from the windows, right? So one of the things that I was really thinking about during that time was trying to figure out how can I keep this side of the house cool, right? Because one of the things that we noticed was we run the AC a lot pretty much in the summertime or even like late spring. And we don't generally keep the house like super cold. We like keep it maybe like 76, 78, depending on like how hot the temperature and everything is. But and we noticed that we're running it quite a lot. So I was trying to find solutions to make it better, right? And one of the few solutions obviously was let's just get all the windows replaced. So we got a bunch of quotes from people using Marvin windows, pellet windows, a whole bunch of other people. I think we got like 3 or 4 quotes, and they wanted somewhere between like 26 to like 38,000 or something like that to get all the windows replaced. And we said, no, I'm sorry. We may visit that sometime later in the future, or I may just try to replace them one at a time slowly. But anyways, that was just obviously a lot. So the other thing that I was really thinking about was how can we do that, or how can we reduce the heat energy that's just coming in from the sun, right? So just give you some background information. This is the west side of the house, the part that you're looking at. And on the west side of the house, we have somewhere around, I think it's about 20 windows on this side, including the big door. The big door with pretty much the whole door pretty much being almost glass, or at least like 80% door being glass. So it's really hot on this side of the house. So anyways, one of the things I really came up with at the time was, I wonder if they can tint the windows on your home, right? Because everyone knows about tinting the windows on your car, but I was thinking, there's a good benefit. Like I can tell, like if you put your arm on the door and part of it's like in the sun, part of it's not, you can really tell that the tint really helps, right? So, and I thought maybe they could tint the windows in your home. So first thing I did was I called the people that I generally work with for tinting my automobiles, right? Tinting all the stuff that we have. And I called them up and said, hey, do you guys tint the windows on your house? And they said, of course, yeah, that's a thing. Apparently I didn't know it was a thing, but I just kind of came across it somehow, and it's a thing. All right, so we called them up, they came over, they gave us quotes, we had a good talk with them, we found out a bunch of information, and then we decided to move forward with it, okay? So now's probably gonna be a good time to tell you, this is not a sponsored video, this is not a paid video, we didn't get a special discount, we didn't ask for any special treatment or any of that. It's just, we just called them up, they came over, we talked, we got a quote, we went with it, okay? And it's not people that we know personally from like childhood or anything like that. It's just people that's just remote or generally in the area that I know from our experience, like I said, with our automobiles and things like that, that do good quality work, that stand by their work and use good quality products, okay? So that stuff I can definitely vouch for, and which is why I felt comfortable just having a talk with them being in our house, working and things like that. So like I said, just make sure you keep that in mind with all the things that I'm saying. So anyways, now let's talk about what we ended up doing, all right? So this is like west side of the house, and there's, like I said, about 20-ish windows on this side of the house, including doors and things like that. And this side of the house is really, really hot in the summer. So we decided to tint just all the stuff on this side of the house, and we went with a tint from Suntek, okay? There's a lot of people that manufacture in tints and things like that out there, but this one was really recommended. It's the same brand of tint that they used on our cars and things like that. But the important thing is that this is a ceramic tint, okay? There's non-ceramic tints out there. There's like mirror tints, frosted tints, and all that fun stuff. But we went with a tint that was specifically designed for IR and heat energy reduction, okay? So I'll just throw up a picture of information about this tint on the screen, and we'll just go over some of the stuff real quick, okay? So this one right here is called ulv-ds 70. It's a spectrally selective architectural window film, right? And this stuff was generally designed for like residential homes and things like that. So the important things on here are going to be the UV, ultraviolet protection. This one here says 98%, okay? Also glare reduction of 20%. IR rejection 64%, selective IR rejection 79%, and total solar energy rejection 47%. Okay, this is the ulv-ds 70. We actually went with the ulv-ds 40, okay? And the ulv-ds 40 has all the same stuff, but just rejects a little bit more, okay? So UV protection 99%, glare reduction 58%. IR rejection 61%, selective IR rejection 79%, and total solar energy rejection 56%. Okay, benefits, there's a whole bunch of benefits on here. It reduces obviously the glare, has a good appearance. Actually, we'll talk about that in a second. Blocks 56% of the sun's energy, increasing the comfort. Blocks 99% of the sun's damaging UV rays. Maintain good quality like floors and upholstery and things like that. And the good thing about this is that this is backed by a lifetime manufacturer's warranty, right? And the people and the guys that we used to do the work is backed up with a lifetime like work guarantee, okay? So we haven't had any problems with the things on our automobiles or anything like that, so I don't see any problems really coming up here. But we went with this ceramic tint because it definitely reduces a lot of that, okay? So let's talk about some of the stuff real quick. All right, so obviously when you tint the windows, depending on which kind of tint you get, it looks a little bit darker, all right? And it looks a little bit sleeker, as you can kind of see here. I'm not sure if I have a good video without the tint on it, but I'll probably throw something up where we did a temperature check, and you can kind of see how different it really looks. It does actually have a really nice look to it. So one of the things that we noticed immediately while walking into a house after like the job was done and whatnot was the side of the windows, or the windows just look sleeker. It just looks nicer, more expensive. I don't even know how to describe it, right? Like when you see like a nice car with a good tint job on it, it just, I don't know why, it just looks better, okay? So yeah, it just looks better. I can't really quantify it or really describe it very well, but it just looks better, okay? In my opinion. The glare obviously has been significantly better. We can actually keep the blinds up, right, during like hot part of the sun and when the sun's really bright, and actually be able to look out the windows, right? So that's obviously been very great. Glare when you're watching TV has been definitely reduced from the windows significantly, right? We'll talk about the heat energy last. The other thing on here is the UV protection, okay? So this house was built, like I said, early 2000, or 1999, 2000, and it was not very well taken care of from the previous owners. And you can kind of tell like this side of the floor where the sun was able to get through is definitely a lot lighter shade than the other side of the floor, okay? And there's spots you can tell where they had like a pot or something like that, and it was moved later, and you can tell like the circular part of that pot definitely kept the floor like its original color versus like the other part of the floor. So obviously the sun's rays and things kind of damage almost everything. The good thing about this is that it reduces 99% of the UV rays, kind of allowing the stuff you have that the light's really touching prolonged life, right? Because it's not dying early due to sun UV rays and things like that. So that's obviously great. All that stuff is a plus. The main thing that we went for was for heat energy rejection, okay? So this one right here, the one that we went with, blocks 50% of the total solar energy, right? And that's actually been really great for us because we noticed we're not running the air as much to keep the house cool. And running the air to keep the house cool is definitely a little bit different, right? Because you get the cool air coming up, circulating. But now the house is just naturally a bit cooler without necessarily running the air, okay? So we had people over for, I think, can't remember what the event was. We had some people have come over, and one of the things they first said was that, wow, it just feels cooler in here, right? And we have people come over all the time, and they didn't know that we had the windows tinted and all that fun stuff. So they're like, huh, it just feels different. Not sure what it is, right? And we told them that we had the windows tinted, and they can tell that just standing near here, you're not just getting burned or beaten by the sun, right? So that was obviously a plus. And obviously as the homeowners and people who live here all the time, we know that we're not running the air a lot. So our energy bill obviously is gonna be a lot less. It's already been less last month. So that has obviously been great. That is probably the most important thing, or the main reason that we went with it. There's obviously a whole bunch of reasons. So let's talk about some of the processes and things like that. We have, like I said, about 20-ish windows on this side. We also have a door. I'm not sure what the thing is called, but the door has like all of these like tiny little windows, all right? So obviously that's a pain to tint. One of the things we did way before, first thing we did when we moved into the house was put a storm door out front, and that has like the the big pane of glass, and that's obviously been very helpful because we can kind of roll it down and get the screen and airflow and things like that going. But anyways, besides replacing all the windows with low E glass and all that stuff, we decided to go with the tint. We do, obviously, you can also get the low E glass windows tinted and get even better benefit, right? I wish we had low E glass and we did that, but obviously we can't pick and choose since the house was already built in our case. So anyways, we'll go and talk about the process and things like that. So like I said, we called up some local people that we know from experience, do good quality work, use good stuff. They're great guys, they're really nice, they really take care of you. And if you take the car to their shop, it's a nice shop too. So I can't say enough about the good quality work and things that they do. So like I said, they're not paying me, it's not sponsored, we didn't get any discount or any of that. But with that being said, I'll throw up some clips about that. And before we get into it, I can really tell you that I did before when they came over here with the samples, and after they left, I did a quick temperature check on the inside temperature difference that we get from having the tint on it, right? So what I did was we have here two samples, right? One's ulv-ds 40, one's ulv-ds 70, and I pretty much taped them up like this, right? Having the middle block with no tint on it, and I took an instant point and read thermometer, and I got, depending on what time of the day I did the test, the difference was somewhere between like 16 to like 20. I think one time I even got like 21, 22. I'd do it like 2 or 3 times to make sure it wasn't like a misread, right? So I'll just throw up the clip and some of the clips of the guys doing the work. And they were great guys. They're very nice, very professional. I think the guy's name is Caleb, kind of owns and runs the shop. He does pretty much all the residential tinting with some of his like right hand guys doing some of that work. We'll throw it up there, like I said, and we'll come revisit and close the video out. All right, so let's take a look at the inside temperature and how it affects the inside. All right, you guys, so this is the inside, same side, the darker side right here. The darker pane is obviously the ulv-ds 40, right? Because letting 40% roughly through, that's not exact, but let's just think of it that way. And then that one right there is the lighter one. So let's get a temperature reading of the inside. All right, so the part that has no tint is about 106 degrees, okay? The ulv-ds 70 is about 96 degrees. Wow, so that's almost a difference in 10 degrees by itself, right? Now let's take a reading of the darker one. So the darker one is about 89, 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's a pretty big difference, right? So let's check that again. Right, still coming back up with 89 versus no tint, which is about 107. That's a huge difference, right? That's almost a difference of 20 degrees, all right? So if you think about it, 20 degrees on the inside, temperature difference from having tint to not having tint, I mean, that'll probably pay for your energy bill, or it'll probably recoup its ROI in roughly about 6 months, 6 or 8 months, or 12 months, depending on what temperature you like to keep your house. So I would definitely invest in something like this or getting your windows tinted, even if you had low E glass, because it could only make it better. Okay, so if you're spending a huge amount of money on things like energy bill, like cooling costs and things like that, I will definitely look at something like this. So we got Caleb and Drew here from Solar Control. And they're here helping us tint the west side of our house. So
yeah, we're like sweating, and we're trying to make a cooler in here for this guy.
Yeah.
I know, right? Well, I'm sorry.
I know you guys got to be getting killed in here in the summertime.
Yeah, I bet you. I mean, it's definitely, we haven't been here all summer, but it's coming up soon.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I could let you know saying, hey, it's like 50 degrees cooler, but I don't think that's gonna, we don't have the experience, but anyways. What we got going on, Caleb?
So yeah, we're putting a coating on the window, ceramic film that blocks almost 80% of the IR heat, almost 60% of the glare, 99% UV as well, which is what fades your floors and your furniture. So normally the film pays for itself within about the first 2 years at least, and you get that return on investment pretty quick. You go green with your house and your energy bills, and just more comfortable overall.
Awesome. So what kind of film are we using in particular?
It's a spectrally selective 40% ceramic film.
Okay.
And so it's not like traditional films where you have to have it mirrored to reflect the heat away from the windows. It actually filters that infrared heat part of the spectrum as the sun comes through.
Nice.
So it's kind of the latest, greatest technology-wise.
So it helps with the heat and the glare and the fade that you get on the inside and IR, all that stuff,
man.
huh? Okay.
So,
awesome. So what's the warranty on something like that?
Lifetime.
Lifetime warranty.
As long as you own the house.
As long as you own the house.
Same thing on a car. As long as you own the car, it's guaranteed. So as long as you use good stuff, it's going to last as long as you're here. So
awesome.
Yeah.
See? Good stuff.
Right on.
Can't complain. So can you walk us through the steps a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So the biggest thing is getting the windows clean. So we scrape it with a stainless steel razor blade.
Yep, one of these right here. So it's 6-inch stainless steel blade.
Gets all the stuff off the window, especially paint and you know, all the dirt that's built up over the years.
The corners, all that.
Then basically you just take the film. For all you DIYers, you peel the film. That exposes the glue side of the film, which is what goes on the window. And then you spray it on with a special solution. Kind of helps it move around while it's wet. Get it in the right spot. But this is totally different than anything you could ever get at like Home Depot or Lowe's. It's a way better quality. We take off a lot of that stuff that you get at the hardware stores. And ours is also recommended by the Skin Cancer Foundation for blocking the UV properly, UVA and UVB. So that's basically it. You trim out the edges and you got your tinted window. So
Good stuff.
I'm gonna keep doing this because it's right in the sun and it might dry if I don't.
But most of you guys know on the channel we only talk about the good stuff. So we're using the good stuff here.
That's right.
Quality stuff. You know what they say? Buy once, cry once. Is that what they say? I don't know what they say. Is that a saying? I think I've heard that before.
I've never heard them say that.
Oh yeah? What do you guys hear then? What's the saying?
What do you hear, Drew? There's no crying and tinting?
No crying and tinting, yeah.
we-
That's why we use baby shampoo.
That's right.
No tears.
No tears.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you guys know what you're doing, so I'm gonna get out of your hair.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Andrew.
Yeah, appreciate it, Andrew.
All right, so if anybody wants to reach you real quick, how can they reach you guys?
We got solarcontrolga.com. Call us at our number 770-888-3939. Just Google window tinting coming. We'll be the first one on there. So
All right,
click on that.
so if you're in the area, make sure you reach out to Caleb.
That's right.
We'll throw his information in the link in the description below.
Do a lot of cars too, so bring your whip over to get pimped out.
All right, you guys, so I hope some of that stuff really helped explain some of the process and some of the things that they do. It's obviously a skilled thing that you got to learn. It's not like you just wake up one day and know how to tint very well, right? So it's obviously a skill that you got to learn through experience and things like that. A few quick things to note. We went with the darker tint that absorbs more or rejects more of the solar energy. So it does look a little bit darker on this side of the house, which is actually great for us. Like I said, now we can actually survive with the blinds up and kind of look out the glare. Obviously, watching TV and all that stuff has been great. Kids can play on this side and not like literally get sunburned and things like that. So it's obviously been awesome. Okay, so a few other quick things to note is I think you gotta let it dry for, I think it was at least 24 hours, maybe 48 hours. With the tints and things like that, you don't want to use ammonia or anything with ammonia cleaner to clean it, okay? So one of the best cleaner I think that I've used besides the invisible glass stuff is the spray away streak free cleaner. It's like comes in a blue bottle. I'll throw a picture of it or something like that. Obviously use that kind of stuff to clean this. Do not use Windex because the Windex has ammonia in it. I think someone told me they make ammonia free Windex, but I'm not sure about that. Anyways, the point is use ammonia free cleaner when you get the windows tinted. Obviously let it dry before you really mess with it, and it'll last pretty much like a lifetime, right? I don't really expect having any issues with these windows or these tints, okay? Take good care of it. There's not really too much to do except clean it with ammonia clean it with an ammonia-free cleaner if it gets dirty. The other thing I did want to note was the fingerprints aren't anywhere nearly as bad on a tinted window than on the window that we had that was not tinted, okay? So on the window that we have, or the windows that we had, these windows without the tint on it, like you could see like dog nose marks, fingerprints from the kid, our fingerprints, things like that. One thing I noticed was with the tint on it, it actually hides a lot of that stuff. It doesn't show up as easily. And that's also been very great because if you have young ones, they're just touching fingerprints everywhere, right? So that's obviously been great. We've definitely been running the air a lot less. And I think I told you before, maybe I didn't throw it up yet, the temperature difference on the inside of the house has been significant, okay? The little instant read quick thermometer test has been around like almost 20 degrees. And that, if you think about, if you don't have to cool the house about 20 degrees cooler, right? Obviously your energy bill is going to be significantly better, right? Just closing the video out, if your house is really hot and there's not too much other things you can really do about it, and you've got a lot of windows and all the heat's coming into your windows, definitely get your house tinted, or the windows tinted if you can. It helps significantly. I know that that's something that people generally don't think about. They generally think, oh, how do I run the AC more or get blinds or whatnot, all right? So the other thing about the blinds, if you put the blinds down, the heat energy is still coming in, right? Like even these blinds, I mean, this is the original to the house, we just haven't replaced them. There's like little pieces and you can see the light and everything through there, but this blind gets warm without the tint on it, right? Now the heat's actually being stopped at the window. So like I said, people don't really think about something like that. So if your house is hot, get it tinted. It'll definitely keep your house cooler. The ROI you should get back within a couple months, I think. Definitely less than 6 months, I think, at least from our energy bill. So if you had any questions or anything like that, throw it down in the comments. If you're in the area, I would definitely recommend, I think the group's name is called, or Caleb's shop or whatnot is called Solar Control Tinting or something like that, or maybe Solar Tint Control. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'll throw all the information in the description below. Like I said, I think it's called Solar Control Tinting. Great group of guys. If you're in the area, definitely check them out. Take your cards or houses or whatever, have them come out and work on it. It's been great, but I'm sure a lot of people didn't know about keeping your house cool by using a tint. So, like I said, hope this video helped you guys out, and we'll see you guys next time.